So in this video, we're going to talk about savings. When you live in a house for a long time, your appliances get old. Nothing lasts forever. I know many of you have replaced your cell phones over the years to get better because they operate faster as things get better. So same thing happens with appliances at home. Refrigerators get old, which means when they get old, they don't work as well and they use more electricity. And then you have to buy a new one. So in this example, we're looking at the Thompson's water heater. It costs them $455 per year to run. And they purchased a new one to replace it for $1,240. And they've determined, based on usage, it's going to save them 31% annually in energy costs. That means they're going to pay 31% less than the $455 they were originally paying. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how much less are we going to pay each month, because they want to know how many years of these savings amounts will it take to pay off the purchase of the new water heater. So when we're figuring out percent, remember percent is multiplied. So we are going to take the old cost times the percent of savings to give us how many dollars in savings we're going to have. So you would take the $455 that it cost them previously to run per year times 0.31, and you would get a savings of $141.05. Why did we use 0.31 instead of 31%? Well, remember, when you're using a percent in a mathematical operation, you need to convert it into a decimal. So looking at this, 31% would be the same as saying that's 31% out of a total of 100%. And when you divide it, it's going to give you 0.31 as your decimal. So you need to remember that because you will use a lot of percentages this year in financial math. The next step is to figure out how many years with a savings of $141 will it take us to pay off that $1,240. So we would need to take that $1,240 and we need to divide it by our savings of $141. So that would end up leaving us with approximately 8.791. Now looking at the question, it said in how many years? So we want the whole amount. And if we look at this answer, 8.791, would we have it paid off in 8 years? Hopefully you said no, because we have a decimal portion above the 8. So that means we would need to round up that 8 to 9. So it will take them about 9 years to pay for itself. So let's look at this example where we're just using and creating an algebraic expression. So the dishwasher cost $R to run for a year. So that means that's what our old dishwasher cost. So that's one of our first things we need to keep in mind. It is replaced by a new energy efficient dishwasher that costs C dollars. So the cost of the new dishwasher is C dollars. And it saves P percent. So once again, that's part of determining our savings amount. We want to express it algebraically. So when we do this, we need to multiply the old cost times the percent. So that is going to be R times P over 100. Now, why did I put P over 100? If you think back to what we previously talked about, remember we said that anything that is in percent form needs to be converted to decimal form. So remember we said that the way you do that is you divide it by 100. In our problem, we have to remember to take P divided by 100 to create the decimal form of the percent. And then we just do what we previously did. we divide our cost by our savings amount. Now, think back to Algebra 2 and what we use the brackets for. The brackets are the greatest integer value. And in our previous example, we talked about the fact that it asked for a year and we ended up with a decimal amount, which is not a year. So a way to make our algebraic expression give us the right amount is we use the greatest integer value. And that tells us to round our answer down to the nearest integer or whole number. And then, because we will most likely have a fraction of an amount, we need to add a 1 to cover that fraction of amount. And that is how we end up with the brackets plus 1 on our algebraic expression.